So I have had an eventful night.
Oh, shoot.
I sent you a text because you were like, "What time are we going to record tomorrow?" And I was like, "Hopefully these lost dogs owner finds them, or I'm going to have to take them to the center here in town." But luckily this morning, the lost dogs, their owner was able to find us, and we're able to get his dogs back. But it was wild times this morning for certain.
Only you out of most people I know, only you would have this incident. Like, I don't know anybody else who has this kind of luck and happen to have two dogs in his garage. Like,
Well, my neighbor, it was on their garage. So because mine is still under construction, so I didn't want them in there at all.
is this the same garage that you're supposedly going to build a bar?
Yeah, well, technically the bar is in there, but there's no
Like,
access to it.
there's no there's no access to a bar.
Right, because right now it's holding all of our Christmas decor and things of that nature.
Oh, so all the crap that you build up over the years, because Lord knows you don't have enough stuff.
I don't have enough stuff. I could have more stuff.
No, no, you have enough stuff.
You don't
You
know
have
that.
enough. Oh, I do. Oh, I do. Funny enough, it
Do
around
I
this time,
do I need to call you out again for Mr. My legs were broken for 3 weeks after helping you move?
because this dude has so much, and I want to cuss, but I'm not gonna. But I'm just saying, he has a lot of sugar honey iced tea. Like, yes.
I had most of the truck loaded by the time that you even got there. You helped me with like
Hell
three
nah.
things.
Hell no. No, 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 no. He had some things in the truck,
I did all the
but
heavy lifting. You like helped me with like one sofa.
no, he actually got his living room done. His kitchen was mostly done, but he had a bedroom and he had a it wasn't a guest room, more like an extra little office space. Okay, there it is, like an office space. And in his office space, he had so much sugar honey iced tea. It was just like, dude,
I had one
dude,
sofa in there. That was
that
it.
had a bed in it.
Yeah, well, we don't even have that anymore, so it doesn't matter.
So I moved that for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, no, we used it for a little bit longer, but we got rid of it probably February of this year.
So I mean, okay, you had it longer, but I mean, than I thought. But oh, that couch was the death of me. I swear to goodness.
It was on a dolly and everything. You had nothing to worry about.
No, I could have sworn we had to carry that piece
No,
of
we
crap.
we dollied it out.
No, I could have sworn we carried it.
No, you wouldn't have been able to carry it. That's why we dollied it out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We put it on the dolly and you just helped me guide it. It was really all it was. Then you
But
were
you
like, "Ah, my arms and my legs hurt," and
okay, it
then you
wasn't
kept
like
complaining.
no, it wasn't like I complained about my legs after, but that couch, man, and my arm. I don't remember complaining about my arms.
You complained about it all, which is crazy because after we loaded all that up, I still had to drive to Tennessee and then unload it in Tennessee, like legitimately a day later, and I was still no issues.
Oh, okay. What did you even have? Did you hire help?
No, it was my brother,
No,
so
but
and
I'm just
he didn't complain either.
well, this dude is like a bodybuilder. This dude works out all the freaking time
So, what's that supposed to mean?
because well, he can handle it considering all the stuff you had. Considering all the stuff, my apartment, nah, man, I can handle this because it ain't much. I don't got much. You got to keep it
It's because you're
basic.
not married.
Fair enough.
The
You
moment
got
you
me
get
there.
married, you're gonna have a bunch of just why do I even have this? That's
Well
what's gonna
then,
happen.
okay. Can you like sell it secretly?
No.
She's gonna notice.
Yes.
You tried?
No, I just know better. I'm not an idiot, Bo.
Do the minuscule things. Do the things that she won't notice.
She'd ask for it. That's how I know you're not ready for marriage. That's how I know you're not ready. because you would do something dumb and then you'd be like, "Why is she mad at me?" And I'd be like, "Because you sold her leopard trinket from when she was a child and you thought that you could just get rid of it and you couldn't." And that's what you learned today.
That's what I learned today.
Uh,
Almost 30, folks, and I'm still not ready for marriage.
yeah, well, you'll get there eventually, hopefully. Fingers crossed for you. Um, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Don't give me that look. Maybe
Oh my
one day.
goodness. Well, we had a really other than that, I mean, we had some that was kind of the most eventful things, but I did go out and I bought an axe so I can chop wood. How about that?
Oh, I'm okay. That scares me. You
What?
don't want to get, and you don't want to give you an axe. That makes me
Why?
nervous. I don't know. I don't trust you with an axe. I just don't. You said no, no. I don't trust you with an axe. I feel like you're gonna do the. You're gonna. I don't know. I think you're gonna not use it correctly, injure somebody.
How would I not use it correctly? It's an axe.
Meaning that you're gonna hit somebody with it.
Who would I hit with it? I'm in my own house.
I don't know, man. I don't trust you around an axe.
I don't I don't trust you around any
Oh,
type
I
of
can.
tool or axe.
I can handle it just fine.
I don't believe that
Maybe.
one bit. I've actually used axes before to chop wood. That's where I'm concerned about you saying that because I've actually used one.
Does a throwing axe count?
No, this is like an actual axe that you have to go through the
But it's two
process of
hands.
slamming down. Yes, but you have
Yes.
okay, so just because you use an axe with two hands doesn't mean you're doing it properly, Bo. You actually have
Yeah.
to slide your hands down as it goes. There's a whole art of this. So that's why I don't trust you with this at all whatsoever. You're trying to tell me that you don't trust me. My buddy, I am fine with one. I don't trust you with an axe
Oh,
or a
please.
sledgehammer or any of that.
Oh, sledgehammers. Nah, I can handle a sledgehammer. Hell, I think I don't, it's been a while since I've used one, but I can handle it.
I don't believe that one bit. So,
No, I could do a throwing axe,
I
so
know
watch out
for a
for that.
fact, I know for a fact, if this was The Last of Us world for us,
You can have,
I would not let you have the axe.
oh, you can have the two-handle axe. I'll be the one doing the throwing axes. I mean, you know I'm pretty good at that. Wait, were you there for that?
No,
No. Well, I was
I
really
still
good.
don't trust it.
You still don't trust it? I hit those targets
I'm gonna give you
all the
like a
time.
I'm gonna give you like a shield so you can just bump them and then we can stab around you. That's what we're gonna do with you.
No,
You're
you
gonna
ain't
be
gonna
more of
give me
a
a riot shield and
you're
just
gonna
be
get
like,
more of a
boom.
riot shield. I think
No.
that's more of your pace.
No, a bow and arrow is more my pace. Give me archery, I'll nail all of them in the head.
I don't
I
know.
will.
I don't know if I trust this.
I will. I grew up with archery, fool. My mom was a bow a hunter.
Well, then
She
we're definitely bringing your mom along. She can be the one who uses the bow. You can hand her an
the
arrow.
arrows?
That's what you're
No.
gonna do.
No. No.
Let's play to your strengths here, Bo. We gotta play to your
My strength
strengths here.
my strength is a bow and arrow.
All right.
It is.
Hey,
Hey, my name is Bo. So I mean, come on. I
BEAU
had to
though,
be
right?
be I will come through this screen and knock you on your ass.
All right, Bo. Well, let's get talking about The Last of Us and your not your days of archery national championships here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about
I
the new
killed a black bear
episode. Oh my God, that never happened. That would you would get
in the
eaten.
heart.
You'd get eaten. Um, unless it's a fake stuffed one, and that makes more sense now. With that being said, The Last of Us, we saw episode 5 of season 2 last night. Really good episode. A lot of new faces getting, well, not new faces, but returning faces getting added in there. Some really cool scenes and whatnot. And the ending, like we talked about,
It
was just a great ending.
was
Setting up what we had
freaking
imagined,
awesome.
what we're going to see in episode 6, which should be a flashback, is pretty much what we're going to do. But we start off with a really good scene where they're in, it's the WLF and they're in this building which has a basement access which is blocked off. And we find out later on, obviously, in the episode what that is, but they're talking about that. They're explaining what's going on with the tunnels and all the situation that's in Seattle right now, which again, we find out a little bit more about that later on. But I thought it's a really good opening. Again, that's kind of a flashback scene too, even though you don't know it's a flashback when you start watching it.
Yes, yes, you think it's happening right now. And okay, okay, so I figured out, is it Alana? Is that how you say your name? The actress?
Probably.
I think it's Alana. I think that's how you say her name. Um, she comes in and gosh, she is so underrated as an actress, but she doesn't even say a word at the beginning of this episode, and she's the boss. You don't
Oh
mess
yeah.
with this. You don't mess with her. She the boss. And I'm just like, that's when you know that somebody is really talented. They come into the room and you already know who they are. And without saying a word, her demeanor, her everything, she's the boss. And it at first I didn't get why they were cutting off an entry. I'm like, okay, why do they have this all built up? And then of course we start hearing from the what was her name? Was her name Lucy or something or whoever talking about
Elise,
how
I
wait, who?
believe. Elise is the name.
Oh,
Yeah.
Elise, yes. Um she starts talking about what happened with her son and everything like that, and you and I both know what her son endured. It's all in the air, folks. It's no longer just getting bitten. Now it's in the air.
Hmm.
And it's actually it's funny how who was it? Was it Craig, the creator? He was saying how like us humans are so good at just ignoring things and rejecting the idea that this exists. So you just put it off and you pretend it doesn't there. We're so good at that. But in the end, it costs them because these, okay, I think it's safe to say, what they're called spores have
Yes.
grown so much now that an effect, it's affecting the air. So now you can be infected by just breathing it in and not just being bit.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that comes a little bit later where we get to see all that, but the beginning of that is very much foreshadowing pretty much the entire episode
Episode,
of
pretty
what's
much.
going pretty much what's going to happen in this one. Really, you start off, and again, I think one of the things where after that scene we get the title, all that good stuff, and then we get the scene where they're in the cinema or whatever it is,
The theater.
the theater, and they're in there, and again, you have this very rewritten way of this happy Ellie and Dina kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And again, it is, and I get where a lot of people might be coming from because as I've been like replaying the game, it's not happy at any point. Like they
No.
really don't have that jokiness kind of ends the moment that the pregnancy's announced kind of deal. So as much as like it's kind of I think for the people who have played the game it's a little bit jarring, and now I'm kind of understanding I think a little bit more of where they're coming from when they're like, why is Ellie so happy? Because it is a little bit jarring that like you know this is going on. But to put on the perspective of watching like the show, I don't mind it. And the main reason why I don't mind it is because like the character of Ellie that we've met, yes, sure, she has a hot temper and she hits that hot temper, but
Hmm.
also she has this same kind of like she's still a kid. And like even though she's 19, she's still like did you feel like an adult when you were 19 years old? I mean, and
You're
she's
asking.
gone,
You're asking
technically
me.
this character's gone out and like, killed people and killed, zombies and all that good stuff. So the fact is like this, in the grand scheme of things, character wise, like when we were 19, we weren't doing anything life changing in that moment. But like ultimately, I think that's the thing is like in the game, it almost feels like Ellie was older than what she was, even though they're the same age. And I think that the show's doing a really good job of like, one, this is a new romance. So like usually in a new romance, even if it is like post-apocalyptic world, you're still going to have those like weird butterfly like, oh, this is,
Oh, it's a
this is my
honeymoon.
significant other. Yeah, exactly. You're still in that
The
honeymoon
honeymoon phase.
phase. And the way that they wrote that last episode where she didn't get angry it makes more sense for Ellie to come up being joking and, oh, yeah, I have a protractor on me, when she's trying to triangulate the spot and she's like, "Wait, really? You have a protractor?" And she's like, "No, I hate math," which is true, for every human being, right? So,
No, it's not.
shut up, Bo. It is.
No,
Uh,
it's not. Some of us like numbers more than letters. Some of us hate words.
so gross.
I
Anyway,
hate words.
jeez Louise, so nasty math. Anyway, so
Oh
you have this whole kind of dynamic that's been rewritten with this Ellie character who is a little bit more uh I guess can be still be the fun loving Ellie that we've grown to love in the show.
I mean, yes, I think I mean, okay, I see why they're doing it because, not a lot of, I mean, there's very, very, very few video games that have the opportunity to maybe rework it in a TV show environment. And so I guess they saw this opportunity and was like, how about we try this romance in a more happy way instead of angry and hot-tempered kind of toxic relationship in the video game. So
Yeah.
I see why they're doing it. It's because um I see why they're doing it. It's hard because I can't choose one side because I see one viewpoint where you want it to be consistent with the game. In the game, Ellie is hot-tempered, she's upset. Honestly, it was kind of a toxic relationship,
Yes.
if we're completely honest. And then so I get why some people think that it should be like that in the TV show. But then on the other hand, if it would be interesting to know, okay, maybe how about we have the relationship where it's not toxic and Ellie was actually happy about it. So it's really challenging to decide which side you are on. So I, but I understand why the creators were like, okay, let's make Ellie a little bit more happy and not so
Yeah.
hot-tempered all the time. Um, which I mean, I actually am liking it. I am liking the fact that it is a little bit more of a happy relationship and still in that honeymoon phase. But obviously they are. I think in a way it does show that opposites do attract because Dina is so logical, intellectual, thinks through everything before acting, while Ellie is the opposite. She's just her emotions kick in, all hell breaks loose. She doesn't think her actions. So I like that idea because you need if you're gonna date someone, I feel like that person you're dating needs to fill the holes that you have and
Yeah.
help kind of balance you out if you understand.
And I think they're doing it for the greater good, if that makes
Good.
sense. So
Yes.
the writers, the director, producer, they're doing it for a greater good, and the greater good is we now have like in the game world, like we don't like when you're playing the game, you're not thinking of like, oh, this is a terrible relationship. And maybe
I
you
know.
are, but like you're also like in the show, this is going to sound, I don't know if this sounds weird or not, but this is the way I kind of look at it. When I'm playing the game, like I'm in the game, right? Because
Yes.
if Ellie gets bit, I die and I have to restart,
Yes.
right? Or if I mean, not if she gets bit. I mean, that's the whole premise of the damn
Well, okay,
story.
I know
But
what you're saying,
if
but
she,
if she gets
yes,
shot,
yes,
if it gets
or like
shot and
loses
died.
her health bar, you
Yes.
have to restart over. So in a sense, you are Ellie in that sense, right? When you're playing, or Joel in the first game, or no matter what game you're playing, right? If you're playing Call of Duty, if you're playing, Grand Theft Auto, if you're playing Madden, whatever it is, like you're entrenched in that game. So, in that sense, you are that character, where in the TV show, you're not, right? So, in the TV show, the whole aspect of creating a TV show or a movie is either you love this character or you hate this character, or you hate this character and then you arc into a love. In the game, Ellie never really arcs into a character, especially the second game. You fall in love with her in the first game for certain, and you love the character of Ellie. You love the character of Joel. And in the second game, Ellie is not that way at all whatsoever. So you really
No.
don't have a good character arc of like, oh, well, let's hate her, love her kind of deal. And I
Mhm.
think when you're writing the show and what we've seen, which is a great touch to this technically, is the idea of you love Ellie, and we don't want to
Yes.
not love Ellie. And so I think that's been kind of
Okay.
the way it has to be written because
Hmm.
if you had that toxic relationship that we're used to in this situation, I think a lot of people probably
Would
turn that
hate
off
Ellie.
and they would just be
Yeah.
like, this is not a show I want to, this isn't the show that I'm used to, even though it would
Yeah.
follow the game a little bit more. So I think
Okay.
that's the way you have to write this character and the
Hmm.
reason why we're seeing Ellie being a lot different.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that because, I think I don't know. I don't know the you can't, it's kind of hard to figure out who of all the people watching this show, who are the ones that were the gamers and know the game and who are the ones who don't know anything about the storyline or whatsoever. So I can see why it can be for the greater good. I mean, if the main character is a dick and
You're not going to watch
toxic,
it.
you're not
Exactly.
gonna watch it.
You
Or
don't,
and if
yeah,
you do, you're not gonna really root for her if she's
right.
kind of a dick.
Yeah.
So, okay, okay. In that viewpoint, I see why were like a little bit more, oh, happy honeymoon phase. Yes, the
Yeah.
world's a complete crap, but we're still in our. There's still happiness.
Because again, like the character Joel, right? So at
Yeah.
the very end of season one, the very end of the game,
Hmm.
Joel goes, he kills the doctor,
Hmm.
and America still loves Joel, right? They still love the character
Yes.
because a lot of people watching the show aren't people who are analyzing like, well, this was a bad move. You're looking at it as I love Pedro Pascal. He's done phenomenal. I would do that as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I would do that for my own child. Like I would protect and you've grown to see how much he loves Ellie, and again, like cuz even in the game, right? Like when you're in the game and you're climbing that hospital to
Yeah.
get to her the entire time in your mind it's like I got to get there. Like I
Yeah.
have to get there and that's what you're
You,
thinking because you're thinking from the mindset of Joel.
Joel, you're not second guessing it at all. You're just like, I'm gonna kill these mother truckers and get to Ellie
Exactly.
and save her. You don't think twice about it. And
No,
I
not
mean,
at
well,
all.
then again, it's not like you have a choice.
And
It
then
can't
again,
just be like, peace, Ellie,
yeah,
I'm out.
yeah, be like, oh wait, never mind. I just killed all
Never
your
mind.
people. You keep doing the surgery,
Keep doing the surgery. Maybe it'll make a cure. Who knows? I'll go back to Boston.
And
I'll
again,
be.
yeah, exactly. And we didn't know that there was gonna be a second game because that game was released in what like
That's true.
2013. So you didn't know there was gonna be a second game because the new game came out what 9 years later, almost 8 years later.
Uh-huh. But
So
I mean, they kind of left it in a way. I don't
that
know.
exactly, there could have been a second game, but you never knew. I mean, again,
That's
2013
true.
was when that game was made. I mean, that was forever ago compared to when it was,
The
the
second
second
part
game
came
was
on.
released because that was 2021. So it's like, you
Yeah,
didn't
I
really
mean,
know. Like this could have been a one-off game that just ends the way it does, and you're like, wow, that's a fantastic game. It's beautiful.
yeah,
It's so
and
well written, so well put together.
yeah, because I mean, in a way, they left it open. I mean, they kind of left it on a cliffhanger, but on the other hand, they kept it open where it was like, okay, they could have had their happy ending,
Right.
lived long lives in Jackson. Ellie never finds out, and that just let it be,
Yeah.
you know. So
But
yeah, I
instead, they make the second game and rip our hearts out
rip
15
our
minutes in
hearts
the
out.
game.
I know. I keep seeing reel after reel on Instagram of people who like are with their partners or their significant others, and the person has played the game, their partner has not, so
Yeah.
they know what's coming, and so they record the reactions of episode two, and their partner is just so pissed off, either pissed off or is having a meltdown because
Yeah.
of what happens, and we're like, oh, if you think that's bad.
Just keep watching.
Just keep watching or
Go play the
don't
game.
play the
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. So we get to a point, obviously they leave, they've triangulated the spot on the map of
Yes.
where they feel the holdup is for WLF, where they think they
That's
can
why we like
get to.
numbers. That's why we like numbers.
Sure. Um, on the map on the game, they just circle buildings on the map and then you just know where you're going. That's
But you
pretty
got to
much.
find the right angle. You got to triangulate. I mean, it's a process, dude.
Now you just open the map and be like, okay, I need to hang a left up here, and that's what you do in the game.
No,
So
that's yeah, okay. And then maybe that left is full of infected, and then you effed. You're screwed. Like, Lord knows you ain't gonna run fast enough.
heck yeah, we'll be
No,
fine.
you won't. No, you won't. No. We'll be
Boat.
fine.
Just remember, I just have to be faster than you. Just remember that. That's the only thing.
I and I
Just have
can't
to be
argue with
faster than
that.
you.
I can't argue with that because I know you can be because this mother trucker play football.
I just
So
have to make sure that if we're ever being chased, that I can just outrun you. That's the only thing. Or whoever else is with us. You never
I
know.
was gonna
Maybe
say,
push somebody else
maybe
down.
okay, yeah. I'm like, because
Trip
you'll be the
somebody else.
leader. I'll be like, yeah, that's my thinking. Well, just don't make it look obvious.
Just
Uh,
take an expendable person. There's no cameras in post-apocalyptic. What are they gonna do? Film
yeah,
us
but you
not
could have a
pick it up.
witness. You could
Ah,
have if you have a whole
trip the
group, and I'm
witness.
like, a trip. Oh my gosh, great leader, because Ethan has said he would be the leader in the group,
You said it. I
and
never said it.
you would be. Let's be real. You've even admitted you'd be like Rick.
I do like Rick,
See,
except
see,
for when he
she.
left in season 9. What are we doing? Goodness gracious.
Ah, dear Lord.
But
I
there are
mean,
there are a lot of things, by the way, where they think they're like because they're releasing a second season of the season with Maggie and Negan
I
in New
know,
York,
I know.
and
Yeah.
I think there was also a oh,
They
what
also
was it?
made
There
they
was like
also made
a
like Herschel the son. He goes from like a child to
oh
like a
yeah,
teenager.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, they skipped through. So they skipped through like so for in season 9 from like episode 5 to like episode 6,
okay,
they jump in like it's like 5 years into the future. So it's you have to go back and watch it, Bo. I'm
jeez.
tired of
Okay.
ruining this for you.
Oh,
Um,
jeez. Okay.
but yes, this season with Maggie, I think is almost like several years into the future, technically. That's the reason why he's older. And then I've seen some sort of clip where Daryl gets a
Yes.
radio call that Rick is alive.
Oh, wait, I
So,
thought. Okay, so wait. I know. Don't. I mean, I know you're not gonna. But Daryl sees what he thought Rick dies,
right,
and then Daryl searches for him for years.
correct.
But he never finds them, even after Rick reconnects with Michonne and his kid and
No,
their kids.
because Daryl is technically in
France.
France, so he's not even in that area.
Okay, so this whole time where Rick is reconnected with Michonne and their kids, Daryl's not even on the same country. Not
Mm-mm.
even the same. Oh, okay. So this whole
Yeah.
time, Daryl still thinks he's dead. Okay.
Correct. Anyway, I know it's our Walking Dead chant for the day. We've seemed to do that every show now. Anyway, we get the trip where they start walking. They see the "Feel Her Love" sign, or the "Feel Her Love"
Oh,
mural on
yes,
the side
yes.
of it, and they start wondering who that woman is and like what's the importance there of the people that are there.
Uh-huh.
And then also you see the sign that says
The massacre.
feel this B word" on there, which is kind of it was right underneath the "Feel Her
Don't you?
Love," so you can see
Yeah,
what's going
yeah,
on in
yeah.
this
Please
town.
tell me you did not laugh at that.
I mean, I thought it was creative. I thought it's definitely creative
He laughed.
to have that. I mean, I may have laughed a little bit because it's like, oh, dang, they definitely
He
are
chuckled.
not
See, looked, no
what,
soul.
but it plays into the scene that we got last show
Yes.
with Josh Peck with the way that they talked about the people, right? So I would
True.
imagine, those some of those people who were like were fighting against Fedra in WLF have now, it almost shows you, right? Like they thought Fedra was the bad of the bad, because we saw the Fedra soldier talking about the voters and you hear the Isaac story of how they stripped their rights to vote. That's why they call them the voters. It's,
Mhm.
callous and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he kills those people. And now you get this mural of "Feel Her Love," and underneath it, spray painted as "Feel This B Word." So legitimately, WLF has just become Fedra.
Pretty
And
much.
so that's why I laughed at it, because it is definitely like oh wow, like they don't realize that like they're the same people, because I think that
Mm.
that's a good take on that you realize that those are the same kind of like they've become the group that they didn't want to be.
Yeah, funny how you try to use that excuse. Be like, oh, this is a logical way to laugh at that. You can be honest. You thought it was pretty funny.
But that's the reason why I thought it was funny, was because of
Mm,
what's become of it.
mm.
Well, my mind works very well. So I don't know if you
Okay.
noticed or not, but
Okay.
I'm
Okay. I mean, you can laugh by the way that
I
this
look in it,
person.
but because you laughed at it, that's what you want me to laugh at it, because you laughed at it, you thought it was
I
funny. What a
I thought it
jerk.
was like, no, you're the jerk because like
What a
you
bum.
No, no. I know you, and I know you chuckled at it because you thought it was creative, which don't get me wrong, I thought it
Very
was too.
creative.
But like, I can see you laughing and be like, kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Don't try to put my shame because you have shame. That's not how this
I
works.
don't have any shame. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're shameful about laughing at this. How dare you?
Who said I
Anyway,
laugh at about it?
we also see the kind of massacre that was with the
Kind
people
of.
that okay, it's a major massacre of people from the Seraphites, and again, this is all kind of setting up. I did see something, and I don't know what you think about this, but I saw a lot of
Okay.
people who were upset at the fact that um, Ellie and Dina are kind of seeing the Seraphite stuff early, because like you see like the massacre when they come into town, which
Yeah.
they wouldn't have seen that until obviously what they saw at the TV station. So I think there's a lot
Station.
of people who are like, why are they interacting so much with the Seraphites early on? Because that was more of an Abby fight, which again, it is more of an Abby fight, but obviously it's Ellie goes
But
through it as well.
yeah, I don't see. I'm not upset with that. I actually think it's a good idea because
Yes.
you need to build this up because you can't just expect them just to go to Seattle and mainly only interact with wolves. No, I mean this is a major war between the wolves and the scars, and especially in the video game. I mean, again, so much limitations with video games because you only can do so much. But like in the video game, you know there's a war between the wolves and the scars, and it's a big war. And so they only can show so much of it. And so in the TV show, you need to make it where this is a big war, folks. This isn't just one little beef, little war that, no, no. I think by showing the Seraphites early and also showing the wolves early as well, or okay, I guess it's more Seraphites, but you know what I'm saying? Showing it earlier kind of builds up this momentum and this idea that this is a big conflict and it's causing a lot of deaths. This isn't something that's minuscule and small. So I'm all for them showing the Seraphites early. They need to build this conflict up because
Yeah.
this is going to be um a major aspect or asset to the story of Ellie and Abby. This is
Yeah.
if it wasn't for this war, then you wouldn't see uh it wouldn't oh gosh, how do I explain this? It it actually would affect the ending. Now, if I remember correctly,
Hmm.
it would affect the ending.
Yeah.
This war actually directly impacts the ending between Ellie and Abby. So we need to build this up. I'm all for it. It needs to show how effed up both of these sides are.
And not to mention the Feel Her Love mural is before you even get to to the TV station. So actually the show waited longer for that than it was in the game because the game is almost
True.
it's before you even get to the TV station. And then as
Uh,
well while you're in the tunnels, you find the little it's like a um wooden prophet doll that's in there.
oh,
So
there was
like
a
that's
prophet doll.
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's even more so
Uh-huh.
something that's found in like the train station when you're down
Okay.
there. So by the way, you're gonna love what I did in the train station.
Oh, crap.
I threw a brick so the clickers would attack the soldiers. And I pretty much
I
just
told you to do that.
no you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No
I
you
say
didn't.
use the clickers as a weapon.
No you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I don't believe
I
this.
mean, we text a lot, so I'll have to go back. But I know I told you use the zombies as a weapon. That's what you got to do to survive. I did. I know I did.
I feel like you lied to me. Anyway,
I did not. Me
so
lying?
yeah, exactly, like you're not laughing at the sign. Liar. So as we continued on through there, we get to a point where Ellie and Dina actually make it into a restricted area. They're in there. This is where we find the smart uh
Oh, the warehouse.
yeah, so we get into the actual warehouse, which is the blocked off area that we find
The
out,
lump
and
building. Yeah.
for smart reasons, this is why this is blocked off. Um,
Okay, it took me a second because it's like, okay, they crouch behind, they hear him, they hear the
right.
stalker. And so Ellie and Dina go up. Oh, there's one on top of one of the crates. Okay. They're like, okay, we can handle this, one. And then they go back, and I'm like, they're freaking out because they're seeing the same stalker. But I was so focused on the same stalker that my eyes wasn't paying attention to the fact that there was another one
There's
right
800 of
below.
them in there. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
I didn't register that until they turned around and there's three of them in front of them. And I'm like, oh, snap. I was like, why are they freaking out? They still see the same stalker. What are they freaking out for? And then I didn't realize there was one right below.
Are the stalkers the worst of them?
Yes.
That's what I think too.
I think the stalkers are the most annoying and difficult zombies in the game. I mean,
Yeah.
people think the bloater is the most challenging one. It's challenging in a different way because yes, it is tough, but like
Mm.
it moves slowly. It has a wide like
There
you
is
can
one.
shoot at
There
it.
is one worse than the stalkers
Okay. Have we encountered this
in the
yet
game. In the game, yes, not in the show.
on the show?
In the game, it's an Abby mission.
It's an Abby mission. It's an Abby's on. Oh, is it the no? Is it a one of those baby ones? No.
No, no, no.
I
We
don't.
don't. Let's not spoil it for anybody, other than
Oh
the people who have played
shoot.
the game. You probably know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
oh, oh, is it
Yeah,
the
yeah,
oh,
yeah. That
okay.
one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. I forgot
that's
about
the
that. Okay,
one.
well that's a one
It is, but that is the worst.
that is the worst. That was a mm,
Yeah,
to kill.
yeah.
I mean they have to bring that
Oh,
in.
yeah.
It won't be this season. It won't be this season at all. It may be season 3 or maybe season 4. I don't know how they're going to do this.
That
But
could be where like that's could be we flip to the Abby storyline to end this season, and it's that story, and
ooh.
they leave us on that cliffhanger of like she sees it for the first time, and then it just cliffhangs.
Oh, that would be an
That's
awesome
how I would write
cliffhanger.
it. That's how
That's how
I,
I would
and you
too.
would hate
Like,
me.
yeah.
You would hate me, my friend.
I already put up with you,
That's
but
true.
I put up with you and you put up with me. That's how it works.
That's right.
Um, but actually, that would be great because they can do at the end of the this season, and you know how like they tease for the next season, they can be like, "This is what you're gonna expect. This is
Hmm.
what's coming,"
Hmm.
and it's like it's like in Jurassic Park where it's like dump, dump, dump. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that would be so good if they do that.
They haven't had
Oh,
shamblers in yet, though. Shamblers were something that were in the game. That's the ones that like spew acid. They haven't had
oh
those yet.
gosh.
So
Okay. Oh, they could have
those are
those.
they should. I mean, at some point, I imagine they will because they were down in the game at least. Shamblers were in the
Was it around the spores?
no, they were well, yes, yes, because so in the game, obviously, Ellie doesn't get bit to show Dina that she's immune.
Yes.
Her mask breaks, and she's like, "Hey, I'm immune," whatever, blah blah blah. But shamblers are down in those tunnels, and that's where you first see them.
Oh, okay.
And there's like
Okay.
four of them down there, which is miserable.
Ugh.
Yeah, I
It
always make sure that I'm stocked up whenever I'm going in any location like that because I'm like,
is
dude,
is
this
that
is miserable.
one of the zombies where you can't stab them, correct?
Hmm.
You can't walk up behind them and stab them. You have to shoot them.
No, yeah, you have to either shoot him or
Fire.
The Ethan Schmidt special, which is the Molotov, to get them stuck together. And then I ended up getting them coming down the steps, so they held up everybody that was running down the steps. So it got both the shamblers and like the forerunners. They all just burnt and died. I was just like, throw.
That's of course. That's an Ethan Schmidt, of course. Of
That
course.
is
He can't do
100%.
anything subtle. You
I
can't do anything.
tried. I really did.
Hey, Jade.
I really did try. And then I got the one runner. And then as I got the one runner, the shamblers, they can just respond to where you are. So it was like pff, screwed here. So I just ran in a circle. They got stuck, Molotoved, and it got everybody else. It was smart.
Yeah, not a subtle survivor.
Listen,
Survivor, are you?
listen. People watch the movie Indiana Jones because of the heroics of Indiana Jones, not because
Who?
he sat there and. All right, so they get attacked by the stalkers down in the warehouse. It looks very bleak. Everybody looks like they're about to die. Then all of a sudden, boom, 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 our good friend Jesse arrives. So
Yep.
Jesse shows up and saves them. Jesse's not happy with them by
Oh,
any
he's
means.
pissed.
He is very upset, which I don't
He's
remember.
pissed.
I don't remember him being pissed in the game.
Does he say, does he come to Seattle in the same way in the game? Like,
I'm
well, you haven't
pretty.
reached that point
I
yet,
haven't
but
reached it in the game. I'm gonna get caught up
it's
uh
I don't
probably
think
today or tomorrow, but
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
remember him being pissed off when he gets there. I remember
no.
him being
I
uh
think
jokey like normal.
uh-huh. I think yeah, he wasn't pissed off because I don't think he actually saves them, right? In the game. Does
Uh-uh.
he?
No.
No,
I
he
don't think so.
doesn't. No. And so they actually just kind of like, oh, it's a somewhat of a great reunion.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually, in the way that they did it in this, I really liked it.
Yes, I agree. I
I
agree.
really liked it. Not only does he save them, but there's this tension between Jesse and Ellie
Yeah.
because they both love Dina. And
Correct.
so it's like you're fighting the masculinity. Like, no, I'm going to protect Dina, but Ellie couldn't. So then here comes Jesse, saves the day,
Hmm.
threatens, well, doesn't verbally threaten Ellie, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. I like that
Tina's my
idea.
responsibility to take care of. And he doesn't even know Tina's pregnant.
Yeah, I know. Dina, he doesn't even know, but we know that Jesse still has feelings for Dina. I mean, you could kind of
Correct.
see it in the subtle ways that they interacted with each other earlier in the show.
Right.
Like you could tell Dina doesn't have feelings for him anymore, but Jesse still does. You can see
Yes.
it. And so, you know, the fact that, he just doesn't know that she preggo yet. I mean,
Well, and then also you got to think this, right? So, how long did it take them to get from Jackson to Seattle? I mean, it took a couple
not very
weeks.
long. Well,
Would have had to have, right? Like on
oh,
horseback
I see what you're saying.
in
Okay, yes.
real time, right? So it probably would have taken a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And so right before Dina left, she would have been romantically involved with Jesse,
Ah, I see
even
what
though
you're
they were
saying now.
broken. You know what I'm saying? So like
Uh-huh. So like
because
right before she left, she hooked up with Jesse one
right.
last time before leaving. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. So
I
he
thought,
would have been left on that. And so
hmm
he's even more pissed because he doesn't ever like, he doesn't, when he gets there in the show, he's not barking at Dina ever. He's
no,
just laying into to Ellie. And it's
Ellie.
like, well, first of all, and from our perspective, it's like, well, pump the brakes. Dina's the reason why, like, Ellie, is as prepared, I guess, that she is, because otherwise you probably would have found Ellie's body at the beginning of Seattle blown
Yeah,
up or
she wouldn't
something.
have not
They would
lasted
not
very
made
long.
it. Right,
No,
exactly. She'd been wearing her Converse still, trying to trek through
and
the national forest.
that's just being on the positive side of things that she actually made it to Seattle.
Exactly. So, but also the big reveal is that Tommy is with Jesse.
Yes,
That's
which I
another
also
big reveal.
liked.
Yes. So
Yes.
instead of you going up there, in a game, it makes more sense to
Hmm.
have just to already have Tommy up there because Ellie's going and pretty much following the clues of what's happening.
Uh-huh.
Because the first actual death is Leah in the game at the TV station. So Leah was one of the members of that group. She's dead because of the scars at the TV station. So
Okay.
she's the body you find with the arrows in her.
Okay. Okay. The same kind of way where we found that I thought it was a guy in the hallway with all those arrows in there.
Yeah, so you find Leah like that in the game in the TV station.
Got it. Okay.
So Leah is also been murdered by the time that you get there, and it's not done by Tommy, but
Yes.
you do
Okay.
find Tommy's handiwork as you go around
Yeah.
Seattle. So this is now a completely different game plan for the show of how do you make this
Hmm.
happen. But the big thing that
But I liked
happens
it.
in this point is you see the Seraphites sacrifice in the
Oh.
woods. So you end up
And
seeing you hear the whistles,
yep.
causes everybody to stop and look like, what the hell's that? They realize, they look up, they see the wolf soldier,
Mhm.
and they cut his stomach open, his blah, everything
They
falls
did the
out.
cleansing ritual. as they would
Exactly.
call it.
Yeah.
And I think that was in the game. Was that in the game? I
I
want
th
to say it was.
I think at some point you see one of the rituals during the
Yeah.
game for certain. I think that is something that happens where you watch them do that. And I can't remember if you're Abby or if you were Ellie when it happens.
I want to say you're Abby, to be honest. I want to say you're Abby, but I could be wrong. I know, and we'll see this later, of course, when we switch over to Abby's story, but you do encounter this again, but you actually intervene. So if I remember correctly. Abby actually intervenes on one of the sacrifices. So that will come in probably season three, which that storyline is also very good. But yeah, this is oh my gosh. I honestly can't imagine. Well, I'm sure there's worse deaths, but that's probably one of the worst ways to die. Is to be disemboweled and then hung. And
Yeah.
you were right, like the person is still alive after they're disemboweled, apparently. I mean, he pretty much I mean, I don't know which technical way he died, but either was hanging or blood loss.
Yeah. And I will say this much. Obviously, there's no name listed for the Seraphite priest. He's played by Maurice Dean Wint. And then the
Okay.
female Seraphite, which is Lane McNeil. There's no name listed for them, but I don't know if that doesn't change
Yeah.
as it goes on and that they're actually, reoccurring, members of the cast. Because
I
again,
can
you don't have that list
in the
every
game.
well on the because they're keeping it so close to the chest on the cast for the next
True.
episodes. Like we're not seeing that because until it drops, we don't get it. So they may
I could
uh
see it. Bring
they
them back.
exactly they may be back because the close-ups on the face of that priest
Hmm.
makes you think that you're going to see him again.
As well as the female.
Exactly. So I feel like we're going to see both of those characters again.
Again.
It
I
does
agree.
lead to a little bit of a firefight with some, I believe, the wolf soldiers getting over there. It causes them to take off. We end up
Oh,
getting Ellie finding her way to one of the first characters that she encounters from the Joel murders, which is Nora.
Nora. Well, I do want to say real quick, did Dina never got injured in the game, correct? She never got an arrow to her leg, right? Because
No,
I was like, what? That was
I'm
out of left field. I did not see that coming.
I'm pretty positive once you get to the theater, Dina stays in the theater.
That's what I thought. She
And then when
hardly ever
Jesse
left.
gets there, that's when the news is spilled that like she's pregnant and
Yeah.
I think Jesse ends up taking her back to Jackson and then you're left by yourself up there trying to find Tommy. I believe is what happens in the game. I
Okay, that
could
sounds
be
about
wrong,
right.
but I think that's what
That
happens.
that sounds about right because Dina stays there long enough for her to for Dina to teach Ellie about the landscape of Seattle,
Hmm.
and then
And
you
then
learn
she
your
goes back.
landscape, and then she goes back to Jackson with
Exactly.
Jesse.
I
Okay,
believe that's what
okay,
happens, if I'm
that
not
sounds about
mistaken.
right. That sounds about right.
Um,
But
but
yeah, she
yes,
got shot in the leg with an arrow, and it was like, oh snap! I did not see that coming.
no, which is
She'll be fine, folks. She'll be okay.
fingers crossed.
She'll be okay. We all know she'll be
We
okay.
hope so. Regardless, we get this really good moment with Nora and
Mhm.
with Ellie ends up in a chase where the only spot for Nora to end up is in a hallway with spores.
Yeah, the basement, level two,
Right.
where they said all the spores were,
In the beginning. So that's yeah, that's
and they did a great job. I know it's
yes.
hard to like recreate a scene like that in a video game because it was a long chase. It wasn't a simple, you know,
Oh, it's
couple of
miserable.
turns. Yeah, I know. It was like it wasn't just a couple of turns. No, you chase her what felt like a
And
mile.
you're being chased while you're doing it too.
Yeah, the wolves are shooting at you
And I'm
while you're
pretty positive
chasing
there's like
Nora.
clickers chasing you too, if I'm not mistaken.
Was there?
I feel like there's like runners or clickers or somebody chasing after you while you're chasing after. So they're like shooting at you, but
Oh,
also having
you,
to try to shoot those because then you're also getting chased by that. I think there's like points in the game where you're getting chased by a couple of
the runners.
the runners or possibly like a runners and some clickers while you're trying to chase her as well.
I think that you could be right on that as well. I mean, you're about to encounter that in the game, so I mean, you can let us know.
I will let
But
us know. Don't worry.
yeah, I know you will. I know you will. But I think you're about right. But anyways, the whole point is that their chase was a lot longer in the game than it was in the TV show. And I get why they did it. They made it shorter because I mean, think about how you got to constantly move the cameras
Yeah.
and constantly have to recreate the chase. I mean, it would just be a lot of work. So I'm glad that they did it the way they did. She gets into the elevator falls. She happens to land in basement level 2 where the spores are at. And, you and I saw where this was going. Ellie encounters this, like what you call it, the home base for all the spores where they're
Mm-hmm.
all coming. And then you encounter the wolf team that was down there, the
Mm-hmm.
Elisa's son, Leo,
Mm-hmm.
or is it Leon or whatever his name is. Uh,
Leon.
is it Leon? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You counter him. So are they, this is something I'm still a little confused about. Are they still alive
No,
when,
they're clickers at this point. Well,
so,
they're
so
more
they're
than likely
dead.
become, yes, yeah, yeah. More than likely they're going to become those
The scramblers that you were talking about.
yes. Or the stalkers.
Or the stalkers.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if Leon became a stalker? Because, Ellie doesn't kill him. So, like,
Yeah.
can you imagine Leon becoming a stalker and then comes back and kills his mother,
Right.
Elise?
Right.
I can see that.
What
Uh,
shout out to Scott Lambright and Molly Scarpine because they're the voices of the male and female stalkers.
the male and female stalkers in the warehouse.
Yep.
Wow.
Those are the people
Wow.
that voice them.
A round of applause for them. Man, they did a hell of a job.
I
I
agree.
mean, really, all the stalkers, there was about what, 7 or 8 of them. They all did a fantastic job of playing the stalkers and the motions and everything. They did a fantastic job. And it's not easy, but they did a great job and the voices perfect. But and of course, we end up at the one of the famous scenes in the video game that it was so well, it's one of the famous scenes that they used that in the trailer when they were promoting the game.
Yeah.
I'll never
So
forget that.
Ellie Ellie gets there. Nora's telling her that she's an idiot because now they're both infected. Ellie's like, "Do you see me coughing, homegirl?" And she's like, "I'm not
Yeah,
infected. I'm
that's the way
immune."
she said it. You see me, homegirl? You a bitch. Yeah.
Shame.
What?
Shame on you.
What?
Um,
That's
so we see that kind of moment, those two getting
the way
that
you said it. You
I
see me,
didn't s-
homegirl?
I didn't say it like that. You said it like that.
No, that's
Um,
the direction you're going.
so they got to that moment where they get this conversation. She explains to her that she's immune, and then she's like, wow, so everything was true. There is this immune girl. It makes sense. And then Ellie's asking where Abby is. Nora's not telling her. And so Abby is making Nora's last moments absolutely miserable
I
by
mean, Elise's.
dist-
I mean,
no,
Elise. You said Abby.
is make yeah, well, she's asked where Abby is. Ellie's making
Okay.
Nora's last moments that she
Mhm.
has miserable by legitimately smashing her knees in. Because again, Joel got shot in the knee. That's where it all started at. And then Abby, of course, beat Joel to death. And so Ellie's just returning the favor to the first person she sees, which is Nora. And it is a masterpiece of a scene. However, it cuts
I know.
to Ellie, and she's in bed, the sun's shining,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden,
There's
Pedro
our boy.
Pascal walks in and he
Yep.
says,
What's
"You
up,
want to,
kiddo?
what's up, kiddo?" And that takes us to the end of the episode, which was beautifully done because you get this horrific scene turns into this golden moment that more than likely we're going to get in the next episode, which should be the museum should come next.
Yes, yes. The museum, the dinosaurs, the rocket or the spaceship.
Hmm.
It's a very beautiful scene, but I think isn't that awesome? So, um, another important moment between Nora and Ellie is when Nora was like, do you know what Joel did?
Yes.
And Ellie was like, I know what he did. And Nora's like, well, then why are you still doing this?
Yeah.
Because she thought it was like, oh, Nora Ellie, because Nora thought Ellie didn't know. And so
Yes.
if Nora told Ellie, then Ellie would have been like, oh, I'll spare her. Well, okay, she'll still die, but like I won't torture her and I'll save my friends. But no, Ellie still goes through with it.
Yeah.
So yes, that was kind of I think also a lot of we know that Ellie knows. You and
Correct.
I already knew that Ellie knows what Joel did. But to the people who haven't played the game, they thought this whole time Ellie didn't know,
Exactly.
but Ellie did know.
And
And
we should
that
see that next episode
I think
where she
mhm,
finds out. Again, if they
yes.
follow this, if this is a flashback, if this is the museum, if this is
Mhm.
that one-off episode that we've been kind of waiting for this
Yep.
season, if that's what ends up happening, then yes, you get that and you get that conversation from Joel.
Yes. And I think it will. I think this will be it. I mean, if not, then it has to be the last episode. It has to be. I mean, because we're like right there. Now, do you think they're going to cut back to this scene? Because, you know, in the game, Ellie was like, I can make this easy or I can make your last moments miserable.
Yeah.
And then eventually, oh, I mean,
I think they do. I think they cut back at some
okay,
point and show Ellie finishing off
Nora.
Nora, or it ends up being where she's back in the theater telling what happens kind of
Ooh,
deal. So
yeah. And
something of that nature.
you could also, it also could be like one of those things where she's back in the theater. She tells Dina what happened. We go back to the hallway, and Dina is, or not Dina, Ellie is like not covered, but like has blood spats on her face,
Hmm.
um, and like still has the pipe in her hand. And you look down, and Nora is just beaten to a
Yeah.
bloody pulp, and is dead. I mean, there could be several ways, but I mean, I can't imagine they would just fit like not go back to that scene. I can't imagine they wouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
I agree. I think if anything, I think if anything, what you do, like you could also see is like Ellie leaving and like you mentioned, like covered in the blood, and it just like continues like in her mind, it just continues to flash of her hitting Nora
Nora.
over and over again kind of deal, and
Yeah.
like kind of doing those cuts between her conscience and then like where she's at, physically at that moment. So
I can see that. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. There's no way that they're just like done. You're not going to go back to that scene. I
yeah.
mean, it's it's a pivotal scene because it's the first casualty. It's the of Abby's team. It's the first casualty of Abby's
Right.
team.
Exactly. Again,
Um,
in the game, technically that's Leah, but you don't do that. So I think that's
uh,
also why Leah made that wasn't
okay.
even like considered part of it for.
Yeah, because
Um,
she wasn't there when they killed Joel, right?
I think Leah was
Was she?
maybe
Because
I.
it was Nora, Mel, Owen, Manny, and Abby. There was five of them.
So
I
then
don't think
no,
there was
Leah
six.
wasn't there, but she's
No.
friends with them because she has all
Yes.
the pictures of them in her like rucksack. So that's where
Yes.
you like find out that Leah is, well, there's a note that Leah's written that you come across that is written, I think, to Manny.
Yes. You're right. Okay, that
And her
sounds about
picture.
right.
Remember, she sends like she has like the um there's like a picture attached to it where she's like flashing. I don't even remember that or not.
Vaguely.
That's
Vaguely.
that, you have to
Okay.
replay the game.
Yeah, I need to replay the game.
You do.
Yeah, I do
What
need to.
else are you doing?
I got other games I gotta play full.
Like what?
Assassin's Creed. I gotta catch up on that. I know you're just like, "Eh," but you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot of um, lessons in history and culture, bro. They got some good lessons in there.
I already know
I learned
history and
a
culture.
no, I learned a lot about Norse mythology. Did
Hmm.
not know a lot.
Well, I know a lot about Norse mythology, so I don't need to play it.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, people, this is how he is. Ethan's like, I know so much. I am
I
a
do.
Mr. Know-it-all, and I am like the smartest guy in the world. He's not.
I didn't say that. I just said I knew that.
No, but he acts like it. He acts like he is.
Not true.
No, no, he does. He does. It's
Lies
not
to the
lies,
masses, Bo.
but
Lies to the
no,
masses.
no, it's not lies to the masses. It's the truth. But yes, I got games I got to play before. I go back to Last of Us. So, and I'll get the remastered version because I want to get more trophies. I want
Which
to.
I have the remastered version right now.
Okay. And is the graphics like? I mean, I know
Yeah,
the
looks
graphics are
really good.
probably. It looks really good. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like they made any big changes, but okay.
no, it looks
Um,
really good though.
but yeah, folks. Next episode, definitely think we're gonna get that flashback that we've been talking about. Pedro comes back. Um, and I think it's going to be a very, very good. I will say more than likely this episode will be one of the slower ones. I don't think we're going to see a lot, if any, clickers or zombies or anything like that. I don't think we are. If we do, it will be brief. So just be aware. This next episode probably going to be like episode which episode was it? Um, was it two or three? One of the episodes, my mom was like, "Oh, this one was a slower episode." It definitely wasn't two. There had to been three then when they were going from Jackson to Seattle.
Correct.
Yes, it's going to be like episode three, where this is like it's not going to be a lot of fighting. It's not going to be a lot of, oh my goodness, I'm at the edge of my seat. It's just
A
gonna
lot of
be a lot of
backstory.
character backstory,
Yeah,
character development stuff.
correct. Exactly. So, but Bo, I appreciate you, man. I got to get ready. I got football practice this evening, so that's where I'm heading to next.
Oh
So,
yeah, you get to go yell at a bunch of innocent little children. Or okay, maybe not children, teenagers. Yeah.
I don't
To
yell.
look,
I don't yell.
Ethan yells. Ethan yells,
I don't
people.
yell at people.
He
That's not how that
does.
works out. They don't need to be
He
yelled at.
does. He yells at people and
Kids
maybe gets a
kids
little
don't respond
aggressive.
to that.
But-
They don't respond to that anymore. This generation doesn't
Oh,
respond to the yelling.
anymore. There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. I'm like, bruh, bruh.
This generation, you have to try to like make it click in their head by explaining it.
I know. I know. And
Well,
I'm
you
part of
don't
that.
know actually.
I know. Well, I know because I'm in that generation that started it all, the millennials. We're the reason why this generation, Generation Z, is the way they are. So it's my generation's fault that Generation Z is the way they are.
Bo, you admitting that it's your fault just makes
I
this
didn't say it
show
was
even
my
better.
fault. I didn't say it was my fault because I don't want to be a part of the millennial
It's your fault,
group.
Bo. It's your fault.
No, it's not. No,
It's your
it's not.
fault. It's
But
okay.
you're a
You've already
millennial
admitted it.
too.
You've already admitted it, Bo.
You're a millennial
Yeah, but
too.
we're putting all the blame on you is what I'm saying.
It's
So,
not my fault.
you're welcome.
I didn't cause this next generation to be a bunch of wussies.
I think so.
No.
Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Random Schmidt. We thank you guys for listening and following along with us here as we talk about The Last of Us Season 2. Again, Episode 5. A little bit more of an action-packed, a little bit more eventful episode than what we had seen rolling into this. So definitely fired up to see where they take it in Episode 6. We'll
Yep.
have that recap for you as well. I'll try to get caught up on the game, so we'll have more of that and we can see where we're at on that. So other than that, Bo, thank you so much for your time, my friend, and we will see you all again next time.